Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Cardinal Scoreboard Show. This is Trey Graham along with Cardinals head football coach Matt Nally. We're going to talk about the big win over the Anna Coyotes and then another big game coming up this Friday. Coach, welcome back to the program. Great to see you. Congratulations. Big win over the Coyotes. 40-34 was the final score.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And, of course, we got some stats to go over, but your first thoughts on the big win.
Obviously it's always great to get a victory. It's awesome to see the kids go out there and compete. It's awesome for the community to come and kind of rally around the kids and support the kids. And there's an old saying in the coaching profession, a Saturday is way better after a win on Friday. And obviously, it was a great weekend and whatnot. But just like I told the kiddos after the game, to quote the great Nick Saban, like, are you gonna eat the rat poison? And because at the end of the day, this is far from over. And it's like my analogy all week was, or all season is, this is a boxing match that we're in, and each game is a round, and you want to win the match. You don't want to just win one round and then lose the other round. So, congratulations. Let's pat everybody on the back, but let's make sure that we're moving forward. And the goal each week is to improve. So, and that was the biggest thing going into the Anna week was improvement. It's still early in the year. It's, an opportunity to get better. And I felt like after the game that we got better in certain areas. Obviously, there's things that we do need to clean up and whatnot continually, but it was a great atmosphere. I think for both teams in both communities. But we're very honored that we had the opportunity to come out there with a victory. And like I said, it's always fun watching the kids compete and watching the kids have success.
Final score was 40-34. It was 21-21 at halftime. And before we talk a little more football, I don't want to get into any specifics because it's not appropriate to do so. But there was a lot of talk before the game.
Mm-hmm.
Some threats were made.
Yeah.
Some consultations between the two schools.
Right.
We often have to remind our audience, you are dealing with teenagers.
Correct.
How do you keep teenagers focused in the middle of a bunch of noise, in this case, serious business?
Right. I think that, once again, communication is a big deal in education. So what I mean by those things is, I think that we do a good job of communicating and educating our players before the season even begins in the regard of how much social media and the internet can put you in such a dangerous position, and you're not potentially maybe meaning to be in that situation or whatever, but your words, especially these days, it goes further than it did back in our day, because for us, our words were just our words, and then they would go in the air and then go away, rather than, these are things that go with kids for eternity, just because of the fact that it is saved on the internet. So we were extremely blessed that none of our players or anything like that were involved in any communication. But once again, like that, I believe that's the coaching staff and the kiddos understanding that the long-term goal is more important than a short-term, insult.
Well, as I said at the end of the broadcast on Friday, thank you, God. Nothing happened.
Yes, sir.
And it's unfortunate that there was concern ahead of time, but thank you, God, nothing happened.
Right.
So let's do a little bit of the stats here. All-time record now between the Cardinals and the Coyotes, 13-1.
Mm-hmm.
13 victories for the Cardinals, 1 for the Coyotes, and that came back in Cardinal Stadium. It was a 9-7 score back then.
Can I talk about that game?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, the funniest thing about that is, so Coach Stinton, I don't know what year Coach Stinton is being the head coach in that game, but he his starting quarterback's girlfriend broke up with him that day, and I think he went. I think Seth told me he threw like 3 or 4 interceptions or something,
Yeah.
and whatnot. And so what I do is I tell the kids, guys, if you have a girlfriend, I need to converse with your girlfriend. And they're like, why? Because during football season, there's no breakups.
Yeah.
There's zero breaking up during
Yes.
football season. And if you're thinking about breaking up with your boyfriend, come speak to me first so I can have a conversation with
Uh-huh.
your boyfriend to kind
Uh-huh.
of soften the blow a little
Uh-huh.
bit.
And how's that working for you?
No, I mean, we had a girl break up with.
Yeah, last Tuesday, right? Yeah. So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was a 9-7 one victory back in the year was 2010, and
Oh,
that
okay.
was the year that the Coyotes had their one victory against the Cardinals.
Mm.
9-7 was the score, and yes, Melissa had lots of turnovers
Yes, sir.
back in that game. Total yards pretty even. Melissa 419, Anna 375, and you were heavy on the rushing side, 60-40.
Hmm.
Your yardage rushing to passing. Was that the plan?
Going into the game, we never have like we're going to go 50-50 or whatever. We do things a little bit differently. We try to attack where we feel like they're the weakest. Obviously, that's football 101, but it's more or less, you always want to have an answer, then you always want to have a counter answer. So, and I have 5 pillars on offense, and one of them is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, meaning if something is working, do not go away from it. It doesn't matter if it's the same formation, doesn't matter if it's the same play over and over and over again. If it's working, keep running it. The thing that offensive coordinators will do is they'll get really cute real quick. So
Outthink
yeah,
themselves.
outthink themselves. And I've heard multiple defensive coaches say, "I love OCs," because an OC will they'll run the ball all the way down the field. They'll get inside the 20, inside the mid to low area, and then they'll start throwing it. And you're kind of like, "Buddy, you just ran the ball all the way to thank you." So that was we never go into thinking, hey, this is what we're going to do. What we do is we try to say, how can we get our best players the football in the best situations? So that is always our game plan going into each game.
Well, I think this stat proves it.
Okay.
If you had 252 yards rushing, that was 100 and no, I'm sorry, 252 total, 226 out of Holloway and Tabor.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
So that proves your point.
I mean, and that is once again that's Coach Hamilton and those offensive staff guys. But that is our philosophy. And
Did
we
I
don't,
say Hamilton? No, you said Hamilton.
I did.
Holloway, your quarterback and your running back
Right,
had
right.
almost all your rushing yards.
Right, and it goes back to the point of we have to make sure that we're not being too cute. And like I said, we're not complicated on offense. Our offense is very simple, but we want it to be that way, just because of the fact of, I mean, I'm an air raid guy by heart, which the air raid is very, very simple offense as well. But I just feel like kids have so much going on in their lives, and we can make it complicated. Like when I was an offensive coordinator here, I would say probably it had to be my first year as the OC here. Tate Whittington was my quarterback, and my offense was kind of complicated. And then when I got Brendan the next year, and we moved Tate to H,
Brendan Lewis, who's now still in college,
Yep,
the way the world
yep,
works,
yeah,
but playing for the
yeah,
Memphis Tigers.
yeah. Tate was such a dynamic athlete. I moved him to H so he could run the football, catch the football, and do some other things. I bought into the philosophy of making things as simple as possible. And, we had a great year. Then after that, I was like, I'm just going to make this as easy as possible for everybody. And what Coach Hamilton and them have done is taken that idea and they have made it complex for defenses, but it's extremely simple for our kids. And there's been times where, as a coach, you don't even understand fully what's going on. But now, if it's the old adage, if it's hard for you to understand, it's going to be hard for a kid to understand. So offensively, we're starting to be that what I want us to be offensively, which is a downhill run team, and then we're going to take our shots when the defense allows us to take our shots. But like I said, the definition of the offense is air raid, but more of that Art Briles style too.
So 60-40 rushing. We said Holloway had 124 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground. Bear Tabor 102 yards, 1 touchdown on the ground. That is now a 3-game winning streak.
Okay, yes, sir. Yep.
So
yep.
3-0 in the district. Here are the district standings for those who are following such things. There's 9 teams. Melissa 3-0, Walnut Grove 2-0, Emerson 2-1, Anna 1-1, Lovejoy 1-1, Denison 1-2, Memorial 1-2, Liberty 0-2, Independence 0-2. Any surprises in that?
No. I mean, you knew going into the year, that who was going to be a really strong team, who was going to be not as strong and whatnot, and you have all these rankings and things that come out, which is all baloney at the end of the day. But as a coach, you get to see each team's freshman team, JV team, and varsity team, and every school does the same thing. We do it as well, but we do a massive breakdown within the spring of each team. So opponent, yes. So who that right tackle was. Is he coming back? No. Okay. All right. Who's his backup? What grade was he in? Okay. What games did he play? Okay. Let's watch the games that he played right tackle. Okay. All right. What grade's he going to be in? Blah blah blah. All these things, and you do it for every single position. So kind of okay. This kid's going to be experienced. So. This left tackle is really experienced. He's a 3-year starter. This right tackle, he played JV football last year, and he has 0 varsity snaps. So it's going to take him a little while to figure out the varsity game, the Friday Night Light piece of it. So when you're starting to build stuff, you say, okay, this guy has experience. Okay, so we're going to put one of our better defensive linemen over here, but we're going to put our best defensive lineman on him. So I mean, things like that. Everyone does the exact same thing, but that is you kind of understand. But no, sir, that does not shock me at all.
Okay. I do want to ask you about something that we observed as we were calling the game, Coach Deal and I. What was going on with the pregame? You guys were late or slow coming out? Was it intentional? Were you playing a game? Was it miscommunication? Because it seemed like they wanted, of course, they're the home team. They want the big entrance, and they had the motorcycle rally and that whole thing. Yeah. And they were waiting on you to come out.
Yeah, so normally everyone's on a schedule. And right before the game, Coach Park came up to me and showed me the schedule, and he said, man, you really don't. You're just kind of on your own. So I knew the motorcycles were coming out and all that, and I was like, I don't want our kids to be exposed to that or whatever, which I thought it was cool. Like, I thought their whole atmosphere there was cool. I really did. They did a good job with, how do you say the horn?
Vuvuzela.
Vuvuzela. I thought that was cool. I thought the whole stadium, like, they played things on third down. They change of possession was really cool. It was a really cool place to play in.
And win, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
But they do a really good job with that over there, and I thought that was pretty cool. But when he said that to me, I was like, okay, cool. We're going to I'm going to avoid any type of distraction. So and we're minute by minute too. But I made adjustments on my agenda with that piece of information. So when I got it, I was like, okay, cool. I knew that they were doing certain things and whatnot, and I kind of wanted to be the for my kids' psychology, or my kids, whatever the word is,
psyche.
I didn't want them to deal with any distractions. And then I thought, well, I'm going to play this game too, that you guys do your thing, which once again I thought was cool. I saw it. I thought it was really cool before I let the kids come out. But I also wanted to be. We're here. This is us. That's awesome that y'all did it. But we will always be Melissa. So that was kind of the issue behind it. Maybe on their piece of it, their psyche, which that might not have been the case, but that was the case for me.
And just in case you're curious, and of course I know our audience is curious, one of the, if not the most watched football games we've had on the Melissa Cardinals
Hey,
Network.
that's awesome.
So, okay,
I know my parents enjoy it. My parents watch it in East Texas, and what was awesome was somebody told me. Well, let me tell you this first. So I'm watching this show. Coach Hamilton told me to watch, and I don't know what it's called. I apologize, but it's a show that Anna does after the games, and he was telling me about how the people were kind of giving Melissa fans a little bit of a hard time because we didn't fill up their 1,000-seat visiting deal or whatever the case may be. And I told Coach Hamilton it's because our live stream is so great. Because I get to hear about it every weekend. My parents and my in-laws watch it, and the coolest thing was I heard a person from Anna say, "Why would you go to the game when you can go to the Melissa Cardinal Network and you can watch it? It's like being there." So, kudos to you and Coach Deal and everybody else that's involved in that. But I just thought that was pretty cool that I heard that and whatnot. So I apologize, but that was awesome. I thought it was cool. You guys do a great job.
Producer Trevor, he's the one that does all the work. Let's talk about players of the game. On the offensive side, wide receiver Jacob Swain, his first visit with us, 3 receptions, 92 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air, plus an 81-yard kickoff return.
Mm-hmm.
Then defensive player of the game, Max Corbin, who's now a regular on the show.
Yeah.
9 tackles and an interception. First of all, talk about Jacob Swain.
Jacob is probably, when you think about like a poster child for a teammate, and I could go back into the spring, what Jacob brought to us. But I think about that Liberty game. That Liberty game, he had 1 catch for 50 yards. And then you watch him throughout that Liberty game, and there was times he's wide open, but how he celebrated with his teammates, how he was blocking on the perimeter with a purpose for his teammates. And so that's the biggest deal for me, is just what a great human being. Like, when you have a conversation with him, you see the humility, but you also see the greatness of how good of a person he is. Obviously, he's a great athlete. He's going to have a great career post high school, what he does with football. But just what a great person. So I'm really, really proud that he's a Cardinal, and I'm just so honored that he's on our team.
And Max Corbin, I think this will be his 4th visit with us as a player of the game.
He's kind of like Norm on Cheers.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Max. Once again, there's nothing. There's everything I've already said about Max on this show is, he is just. He's one of the greatest kids I've ever been around, and obviously he's a great football player. He's going to be just like Jacob. He's going to have a great post-career, high school career. I'm going to go play college football, but he is one of the most selfless kids I've ever been around. Like, his story's really cool. Like, you move from Washington and you're a quarterback, and I don't know. I'm going to tell his story right now, but he's on our freshman B team as a freshman as the quarterback, and then as a 10th grader, he is on our JV as a quarterback. And then the need for him as a junior was at linebacker. And how he just bought into it. And, the thing is when you put hard work into something and you're selfless, you'll always find success. And he's going to get his dreams come true because of the fact of him being a hard worker and being selfless. He's going to go and get to play college football. And that's just a testament to who he is as a person. And obviously, you've interviewed him enough. I mean, he is a wonderful human being.
Well, we're going to let you meet Jacob Swain, the new appearance on the show, and Max Corbin for his repeat appearance. You'll get to meet our players of the game, see their highlights, and then we'll come back and talk more with Coach Matt Nally right after that. Welcome back to the Cardinal Scoreboard Show. We will talk more with Coach Matt Nally after this, but now you get to meet our players of the game for the big victory over the Anna Coyotes. First of all, our offensive player of the game, wide receiver Jacob Swain, senior number 0. Congratulations on being the player of the game.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Your first time with us.
It is.
All right.
It is.
Max has been here lots of times.
Yeah.
But this is your first time with us. So, first of all, what was your thought going into the Anna Coyote game?
I knew how big the rivalry was. Like all week, it was obviously the main thing to beat them, but all season too, it's been a goal of ours to beat Anna. And yeah, that's my first like real feel of an away game. And yeah, it was crazy. It was a really good game.
You're new to Melissa.
Yes, sir.
Where'd you come from?
I came from Cy Ranch High School in Cypress, Texas,
Okay.
outside of Houston.
Okay. What led you guys to Melissa?
My godparents live here, Jennifer and Terry LaCour.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I
Okay.
came and I'd visit all the time when I was younger. And then for my senior year, just wanted something different. Came up here.
Okay.
Yes,
How do
sir.
you like it?
I like it a lot.
And how have they treated you as the new guy?
I love it. I got here for the second semester. So as soon as I moved in, we were doing off season, but I can just tell with the team that it would be a really special group.
Good.
Sir.
Number 0. Why 0? You like it?
I
Did
mean,
you
I
pick
didn't
it,
really,
first of
I didn't
all?
really have.
You
Yeah,
picked-
they
did
were
you pick
only only like 2 single digits.
Okay.
And then
Alright.
number 2 was huge because it was Nigel's old jersey.
Okay.
So 0 was like
Okay.
what I was left with.
All right. And you had 3 receptions, 92 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then we'll talk about special teams in a minute.
Yes, sir.
But what were the plans going in? What were you going to attack their defense to do?
Honestly, we run a lot of choice, and to be honest, you can't really stop the choice route at all. So that was big going into
Okay,
that game.
some people don't speak football, so explain what that means.
All right, so a choice, you have the option to sit down, run a go, or run a post. And Brett, our quarterback, basically just has to read me and what I do. So, yeah, I mean, we knew the choice would be big in that game, and we were going to attack them early with it.
Okay. And an 81-yard kickoff return.
Yes, sir.
You've been on the return unit all season long,
I have.
but this was your biggest one.
This was.
What happened?
I mean, leading up to that, they would kick the ball into the end zone for a touchback every single time leading up to that. And then when I actually got the opportunity, I had the big return. So, yeah, after that, I feel like we got a lot of momentum from that. We scored right after, and we just kept going.
Good. What do you want to do after high school?
I want to play in college. I was committed to Rice until the end of last month, so I haven't decided where I'm going to go yet. But
Now, you're wearing a shirt right now.
Nah,
Is this an announcement?
no, this doesn't mean anything
Okay.
right now.
All right.
But yes, sir.
So, no to the Rice Owls.
No,
Okay.
no, sir.
Do you have a list of favorites?
I was up at Oklahoma State this past weekend, but they got rid of Coach Gundy,
Yes,
so
they did.
I don't know what I'm gonna do there yet. But I'll decide pretty soon.
Okay.
Sir.
Play wide receiver.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you do other sports? Have you in your high school years?
I did. I used to play baseball, and I played basketball. I played baseball for a really long time, and honestly, I thought baseball would be my main sport. Up until like my freshman year, I got hurt, so I haven't really played since. But
Okay.
Was a big-time baseball player.
Okay. Favorite class in school?
I'd have to say business. I know I'm gonna do business. That's what I'll major in, and honestly, I've been taking a lot of business classes all of high school, so that's just something I'm super interested in, and I'm excited to, learn more about it in college.
And what has Coach Nally taught you about football?
Coach Nally, that's my guy. Um, he's really just pushed us to obviously be ourselves, and he's gotten all of us closer to God all season. He prays us every day, every practice, and he's just taught us to come together as one and just work for our common goal, win the state championship.
Good. Well, congratulations on being our offensive player of the game.
Thank you.
Wide receiver number 0, Jacob Swain. You'll get to see some of his highlights now. Then we'll come back and talk to our defensive player of the game, Max Corbin, right after this. Second down, 16 from the 21. Cardinals offense quickly to the line. Twins left, split right. Trying to get the Coyotes to jump. They think they got him. They're going to throw it into the end zone to Swain. It's going to be a touchdown catch. Touchdown catch by Swain. It looked like it was a free play. Throw it up, and Swain comes down for the touchdown.
Threw it up for grabs. I couldn't tell if that was a reception or an interception, but as soon as you saw our cheerleaders going crazy and our fans on the student section, it was touchdown Cardinals. We will strike first tonight. Took the ball first after winning the toss, so that strategy has paid off.
All right, Cardinals trail by 3. Marroquin, who just made the field goal, will kick the football off. We've seen his strong leg putting it into or out of the end zone. And this one, the Cardinals will return it from the goal line up to the 10 and the 20. And got a seam at the 30, beat the kicker at the 40. Jacob Swain at the 40, 30, at the 20. And he's pushed out of bounds inside the red zone, and the Cardinals have tremendous field position to start their first possession of the third quarter.
First run back today. Number 0 is a game changer when his hands is on the ball.
As the horns come out, since we are standing on the...
Very annoying, but this is a good atmosphere.
Well, we're on the purple side of the world tonight. 3rd and 8. Snap back. Fake the handoff. Holloway throws a comeback route right at the sticks. Caught by Swain. And it's going to be first down Cardinals.
Move those sticks.
Yes, sir. First down at the 36. Twins left. Split right. Tight end wing left. 3rd and 8. Snap is a high one. Quarterback has it. Throws a comeback route again. Jacob Swain's got it. His breakaway. Track meet. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown Cardinals. Did he go out of bounds? No. Touchdown Cardinals. 62 yards. Jacob Swain, the speedster, locks this one down for your Cardinals. 3:39 to go in the game. Holloway to Swain.
You had about a one-on-one for that ball, Trey. Jacob came down with it, and then it was, you said, it was nothing but green grass between him and the end zone, and he's got great speed. Cardinals will call timeout after this to set up here for the extra point. Huge play.
Brett Holloway's second touchdown pass of the night to Jacob Swain. He ran a curl route for about 10 yards, cut upfield, and then the track meet started, and he took it to the house. 62 yards, and the Cardinals lead 40-27. Welcome back to the Cardinal Scoreboard Show. You got to meet our offensive player of the game, Jacob Swain, a moment ago. Now you get to meet our defensive player of the game, Max Corbin. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You've been here, we think, 4 times.
Yes, sir.
So this is the first one this year.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Are you going to come back?
Hopefully, yes, sir. Hopefully more than once.
Okay. Congratulations being our defensive player of the game, the big victory over Anna.
Yes, sir.
Linebacker number 4, 9 tackles and an interception.
Yes, sir.
Now let's talk about the interception. If we're honest, he threw it right to you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It was like
It's not one of those diving,
Oh, no.
jump over somebody.
it was nothing cool. I mean, it was right to me. I kind of saw him overthrow it. I saw the receiver jump. I was like, I wonder if he's gonna get past it. And it was honestly I didn't think I was gonna catch it. It was a little low, but I figured I could probably roll, kind of lay out and get to it. So it was kind of awkward, but it got the job done. So
One of the easiest interceptions.
for sure, yes.
Okay. Then we get to the very end of the game.
Yes, sir.
Down by 6 are the Coyotes. They're trying to score, even to take the lead at the very end. And 4th down, they had to go for it. You came up with that big sack at the end
Yes,
to
sir.
shut the game down.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about that play.
I mean, I had been kind of blitzing a little bit here and there all night, and he had been there was, I think, once where he kind of rolled out and escaped the pocket kind of around me, and I knew he was going to try to do the same thing again, so I kind of bounced off the running back, and he started to get outside me, but I dove, and I just held on for dear life. I started trying to,
Did you grab him by the hand or the arm or something?
It was by the jersey hanging off his shoulder pad.
Okay.
So I just held on for dear life, and I kind of tried to gator roll a little bit on the ground, try to bring him down, and it ended up working out for me. So
Good.
yes, sir.
What was the plan going into the Coyote game on the defensive side?
We knew our main threat was going to be Andre, their quarterback. So we had a spy set up. We made sure our D linemen stayed contained most of the time, and we knew our defense is very, very good. I mean, I believe we can shut down anybody in the state. So as long as we stayed out contained, kept our main threat out of the game, kept him less of a threat, then we knew we'd be good.
Okay. And you're now a senior. You've been around here for a while, so it's
Yes, sir.
time to be the team leader.
Yes, sir.
How is that different being a senior?
I mean, I feel like there's been a lot of different leaders and a lot of different people that came up while I was kind of developing and watching them, and I've kind of learned what I like and what I don't like from them. And I mean, there's definitely been some leadership problems in the past, so me and a lot of other people on the defense especially have kind of stepped up and said, hey, this is what we need to do. We've seen that it hasn't worked in the past, so we need to really focus on it and get it together before the season.
When you were an underclassman, who did you look up to on the team?
Honestly, Gunnar Wilson, probably the most. I mean, he played my position. He's doing it in college, kind of what I want to do. So, I mean, even just learning from him and kind of working out with him a few times and just talking to him, he's a good friend. So that's really helped me a lot.
Are you committed to play somewhere? Are you looking to play somewhere?
Not yet. I have a few offers, but I'm still waiting on one that really catches my eye.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And to play linebacker?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because you were a quarterback in the old days, right?
Yes, sir, for my freshman and sophomore year.
Okay. And how many linebackers are holders on the field goals?
Oof. I could probably count them on my hands.
Yeah, not too many.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And punt returner.
Yes, sir.
That's a weird mix.
Yes, sir. Sometimes I mean, I'm very confident in my ability to catch the ball and secure it. So I mean, as long as I can catch the ball, make sure we have it. That's really all that I'm worried about. The return comes after, but as long as I can secure the ball.
Favorite class in school?
Oof. I'd probably say environmental science. I really like the teacher a lot. He's a really nice guy, and I've got it with a few of my friends, and it's an interesting topic, so it's not too bad.
And Coach Spann, defensive coordinator.
Yes, sir.
What's he taught you?
I mean, he was here when I was an underclassman. He was the safeties coach then, so I didn't really talk to him too much. But I mean, he looks at the game in a different way. He kind of runs a more advanced defense, I would say, whereas defenses a lot in high school don't try to do too much, try to keep it simple. But he trusts in us, and he knows our ability that we can implement whatever he tries to give us. So I mean, we're really good at disguising things. We run an advanced defense for most high schools.
Okay. And what do you want to say to the Cardinal fans and their support, not only of the team, but really your own family? You've had a tough go.
Yes, sir.
And you've had a lot of support. What do you want to say to them?
I mean, it's been a crazy year I've had, but I mean, I haven't been here that long. I lived most of my life in Washington, but it feels like everybody kind of just rallied and really put my mom and my family and I back up on our feet like we've been here, like I've known everybody my entire life. It was crazy how everybody just kind of stepped in and helped wherever they could and really offered help.
Well, congratulations on being our defensive player of the game.
Yes, sir.
Again.
Thank you.
Number 4, linebacker Max Corbin. So you got to meet our 2 players of the game. You'll get to see a few of the Max highlights, including that interception here in just a moment. And then we'll come back and talk with Coach Matt Nally right after that. Here we go, first down. 1st and 10. They're going to throw the football to the right side. It's going to be an interception. Max Corbin comes down with the football. That was a slant route thrown by Williams. He threw it too far ahead of his intended receiver, and the linebacker in pass coverage hit him right in the gut, falls down,
yes.
Turnover.
It's good awareness there by Max, where the ball was overthrown. He was just in the right spot, but did convert with the catch.
It
All right,
is first down, Cardinals with a 4-point. Have the football at their own 15-yard line. And they're going to hand the ball off and go nowhere. Trailer, a gain of a half a yard.
Max Corbin on that stop, along with Any Ado.
Paul Brown from the grounds crew of Melissa. A penalty by the opposing team causes it, and then you don't have to leave the field. First down at the 18. Coyotes in the red zone, and they're going to give it to Trailer going right, and he'll pick up yardage to the 15-yard line. Good job there, Max Corbin, trying to win the defensive player of the game here.
Just an awesome textbook tackle there. Lowered his shoulder, drove it through him and to the ground.
Dalton Holly checks in. Business manager Melissa ISD
Pressure
says,
with the bull rush right up the middle, where Williams had to get rid of that ball.
Cardinals need a play here.
Here we go.
4th and 14. 31 seconds on the game clock. Cardinals lead 40-34. You've been watching the Melissa Cardinals Network all night long, and the Melissa Cardinals are trying to shut this thing down. Trips left, split right, 4th and 14. Snap is back. Williams has pressure, and he's going to roll to his right, and he's going to be taken down for a sack. And the Cardinals are going to close this down.
Who was that?
There it is.
Who was it?
Max Corbin. Congratulations, son. You just won Defensive Player of the Game. Max Corbin with the sack. And you just won Defensive Player of the Game. Cardinals offense takes over with 23 seconds on the clock. Coyotes have no timeouts. Cardinals will have to get in victory formation and put one knee on the ground.
What a ball game. What a ball game. I hope everyone at home has enjoyed this. Thank you to Trevor and all of his crew tonight here working in difficult situations. And hopefully this was enjoyable and listenable tonight. But what a victory for your Melissa Cardinals.
Trevor, our tremendous producer with a great crew, Jakiah Sims, Wyatt Hinkle, Muhammad Rahman, Boston Skadden, Mitchell Warner, Casey Gabriel, St. Maria, Liliana Bartagna, Carol Ramirez, great camera crew, replay technical crew from Melissa High School. Cardinals put one knee on the ground, and that is it. The final 10 seconds are going to roll off this clock, and your Cardinals have come to the Purple Palace, and they're going home with a win. Congratulations to Coach Matt Nally. Congratulations to the Melissa Cardinals, who take their all-time record against the Anna Coyotes to 13-1. And more important than that, the Cardinals are 3-0 in the district. And the march toward the playoffs is on. Congratulations to Coach Nally and the Cardinals. And Coach, I'm going to say thank you, God. It's been a calm night. None of the funny business we heard about.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, God. It's been a good night. And if you're a Cardinal fan, you're going home happy. If you're a Coyote fan, it's a disappointment.
Very good team. Very good.
Very well.
Very good ball team.
Welcome back to the Cardinal Scoreboard Show. You got to meet Jacob Swain and Max Corbin and saw some of their highlights from a great victory over the Anna Coyotes. The final score was 40-34 up there in the Purple Palace, and it was a great win on the road. Time for the Cardinals to come back home this Friday. The Lovejoy Leopards will be in town right down there. 7 o'clock pregame show, 7:30 kickoff here on the Melissa Cardinals Network. Invite you to be here and enjoy another important district game as the Cardinals will play Lovejoy for the 6th time ever.
6? Wow. Okay.
All-time series is
Okay. I think we've only beat them once.
3-2.
Really?
3-2.
Okay.
2008 was the first time Melissa won, so it was before your days here.
Okay,
So
yeah.
So all-time record, Lovejoy leads 3-2 in varsity football.
We need to tie that up, Brother Graham.
Well, I expect you will do that this Friday. I'll hope you will at least. Okay, Lovejoy averaging on their defense to allow 29 points a game, which is on the high side.
Yeah.
And your offense is scoring an average of 49 points per game. So you plan to put a few points on the board this Friday.
I mean, when we go into something, I'm an offensive guy, but I tend to lean more on the defensive side as a head coach. So to me, it's 2-0, 3-0. Defensively, we should play lights out against anybody. Obviously, offensively, and let me say this, because I know there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way I feel about defense, but I think the coaches coach defense. And I'm an offensive guy. I am an offensive guy, but I think the guys that just enjoy football coach offense, because offense really is the easier side of the ball. It's the less stressful.
Do I need to get Matt Spann on for like the rebuttal or something like that?
The offensive side of the ball is, the snap count, the play. That's why I loved it. I loved it just because of the fact of I control everything. Whereas the defensive side, you don't. Like you have got to coach those kids. Okay, you have a zone block. Okay, cool. Well, this is your run fit. You have a gap scheme. This is your run fit, and you have to fit it perfectly. Okay, well, the offense, and this is why I do like offense, is, well, if you're going to do this, well, I'm going to do that. And you can always have an answer offensively for what they do defensively. But and when people talk about adjusting at halftime, there is no adjusting at halftime. You should be adjusting throughout each series as the game goes on. Halftime, it has changed a lot, even the last couple of years. Now you have technology you can use at halftime, and it's a lot of you going and tweaking, like, hey, your first step was a drop step when it should have been a flat step, to kick that guy out or whatever the case may be. But defensively, you're consistently, okay, am I going to spill? Am I going to box? How am I going to fit this? What's our defense going to be to the boundary? What's our defense going to be to the field? What's our trips check? What's our empty check? Blah, blah, blah. And you're constantly having to evolve throughout the game. That's why I say the guys who coach football are on the defensive side, just because of the fact of they are constantly in an environment of stress. Where on offense, it's fun. It's kind of like we're the big brother, like just, throwing trash or whatever at the little brother nonstop, just because of the fact of, we're just a pest, but because we're consistently putting people in conflict, and they have got to coach the kids up, because there's a lot of times, I'm trying to remember the game that we played this year, but Coach Spann just he just calls it auto, and it's just the kids, based off the formation, where they are on the field, what's the situation, they make the call, because offensive guys can get tendency based, but going back to your question, I'm sorry, I like talking about football, but going back to your question, yes, we have done a great job of scoring a lot of points, and we've done it in different ways throughout the year, based off of the defense. Anna's defense was very talented. They were very, very good. They did a lot of really cool things defensively, and we knew going into that game that we had to do certain things in certain situations to allow ourselves to move the football. And the one thing is I always, once again, we go these pillars that we have, but first downs turn into touchdowns, and sometimes offensive guys just think about touchdowns. Let's just get a first down. And I thought we did a really good job of that on Friday night. Was let's get the first down. On 3rd and 8, let's get a first down. Like sometimes, if it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, an offensive coordinator will try to push the ball down the field looking for a PI, kind of like that, oh, it's a punt type of situation. Well, that's not our philosophy. Let's get a first down, or let's put ourselves in a situation where maybe it's 4th and 1, 4th and 2, and let's go for it. But yes, sir, we have had a great season of putting points on the board and doing it in different ways.
Speaking of penalties,
Yeah.
you had 9 a week ago when we
Mhm.
talked, and you
Mhm.
said what every coach says. We got to clean that up. That's the
Yes, sir.
official line.
Yes, sir.
We got to clean that up.
Yes, sir.
And so you came back with 14 penalties.
We just we just do it better.
Yeah.
The one that got me was the false start. So in 2 weeks ago, the vuvuzela, I started pumping that into practice
On the speakers.
on the speakers.
Yeah.
I started pumping that into practice because we had went as a coaching staff to a game last year, and it was overwhelming. It was like, wow, this is. We went to a home game, and this is in Anna. This is really overwhelming. Like, wow, this is loud. And so I started pumping it into practice 2 weeks ago, and I thought, okay, our kids are going to handle that. And I thought maybe our kids did the vuvuzela horn well. I don't know, but there were times where our kids couldn't hear. And once again, that goes back to the Anna fans and the Anna, that environment that they had, because they could hear the play, but they couldn't hear the snap count. And we had to, going into that game, we gave Brett a lot of leeway to make checks just because of the sound, and because of the fact of they did certain things defensively. But a lot of it had to do with, I believe, Anna's stand, or Anna's the environment they had. So the 7 false start penalties, like, that is something that, if I was an Anna fan or an Anna coach, I'd be pretty excited about. We had one false start on PAT, and then we had the kicking out of bounds, which I've never experienced that before.
No, I have never seen 4 or 5 consecutive kickoffs.
Yeah, I've never experienced that before. But we directionally kick in certain situations, doing certain things, and I kicked in high school, so I mean I have some empathy for them, just because of the fact of it is difficult. I mean, it's got to come off the foot correctly, and because, like I said, we in certain situations we're either going to kick it right or kick it left, and we're going to kick it in a certain spot on the field, and you can overthink that, and then as you approach the ball and things like that, all kinds of things can happen. So those were were 3 penalties. I don't really have an answer for that besides, but you know what? He kicked it and he totally redeemed himself, and we went out there and it was a great coverage of it. So it all kind of worked out, but that is probably the biggest thing. And we had a team meeting this morning, and the thing that we discussed most was the 8 false start penalties. But you have to give Anna kudos to that. But we have got to get set, and it had nothing to do with, we weren't moving pre-snap. We just weren't set pre-snap. So that's the thing that we've got to improve on as an offensive side of the football is that. And we discussed it over the weekend, and obviously I discussed it with the kids this morning. But if you really look at it, those 8, those 3. I mean, we should have been penalized maybe 2 or 3 times, and those other ones shouldn't have, that's being, once again, I'll quote the great Nick Saban, but that's being disciplined in certain situations. But, we could probably do a better job as a coaching staff in the regard of helping them with crowd noise. Now, Brother Graham, you've been to a practice or two. I tried to turn the music on as loud as possible, and the horn was so annoying in the last 2 weeks, and that's the one thing for me. It helped me out. Like, I didn't really hear the horn as much as I heard their fans and their stadium. Like they did a good job. Like I said, just the environment was really really good. So, but we're gonna have to obviously we have to clean that up.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Since we're on the topic of kickoffs, if you wanted to make Kenny Deal upset this past Friday, it occurred on the onside kick
Hmm.
that everybody seemed to just watch the football
Mhm.
until their little kicker just picked it up.
Hmm.
So, got to clean that up too.
It was awesome. Was my oldest son was driving to Arkansas, he was in Arkansas on Friday, and he calls me after the game, and he said, "Dad, I don't know who's in charge of your special teams, but they need to be fired." And I said, "Well, Jack, I'm in charge of special teams." He goes, "You need to be demoted." We can't blame that on kids. Like, what I told our staff this weekend was we assumed that the kids understood. I mean, we do hands team every week, and we do individual drills, and we do, how you're supposed to recover an onside kick and things like that. But we assumed that they understood what each angle and each thing, like everyone in the stadium knew when it was 4th and 2 down there at the goal, we were going to turn around and give it to Bear. Everyone knew that. In that situation, everyone knew that they were going to onside kick it. We, as coaches, just assumed that our kids understood how they were supposed to fit based off of that. We did a really piss poor job of explaining that. But, Brother Graham, like I told our staff over the weekend, that was supposed to happen to us. It was supposed to happen because now it's going to happen in the future, and now we have an opportunity to not assume and to really coach that, teach that piece of it, because you can't. The kids did what we had coached them to do, and we just, like I said, we didn't do a very good job of teaching the entire concept of it. In that situation, the first guy should have ran and just nailed the first guy, and then we should have rallied to the football. The second guy should have got on the ball, and the third guy should have covered him up. Well, we didn't do that, because normally what we teach is the ball's got to go 10 yards. We don't want to. The first guy don't.
If you're kicking it, if you're receiving it, it doesn't have to go 10 yards.
Right. The ball's got to go 10 yards. You got to. That's what we assumed. Like, of course, they would know in that situation. No, they don't know. You know what I mean? They're doing what we have taught them. So we just have to do a better job of teaching that on the coaching part of it. So, but once again, you never. I believe that there's always learning moments that are going to help you and set you up for the future. So I think that is a learning moment that's going to help and set us up for the future. First off, what an unbelievable onside kick by that kid. This year they're 3 for 3. That kid
Wow.
is amazing at doing that. And
all the same dribble up with front?
no, he's done it all different
Okay.
ways, but that kid is really. Obviously, he's a great kicker.
Yeah.
He kicks the crud out of it. But that was a really good onside kick. But we've got to get better at that. And while I'm sitting here talking, we can talk about the 2-point conversion too. So.
We're supposed to be talking about Lovejoy right now, and we'll get back to that. But there's a lot about the Anna game, so go ahead.
The 2-point conversion. So, I have an analytic guy that, and then I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there's old school charts.
Oh yeah. If you're up by this many with
you're
this
supposed
much
to do
time
that, and
left,
this and another. And in the past, Brother Graham, I have really leaned on analytics. Whatever analytics says, I'm going to do it. Going into this year, I was like, you know what? I've been doing this long enough. I don't need analytics. I don't need there to be a book. Like, I used to have a coach that walked around with a book, and it, per minute of the game, how the game was going, it would tell you what to do. Go for it on 4th down. It's 4th and 5 on the -25. go for it or whatever. You could be up in the situation like we played sock. I can't remember 2 or 3 years ago. And it said, if you want to win the game, you have to go for two, but you have to do it in an exotic way. And you're like, what? Okay. And we didn't get it, and like I said, this year I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to go for my gut. And, but in that situation, the analytic guy was like, hey, this is what it says. And I'm like, all right, guys, this is what we're going to do. And then once again, you learn, like, I'm not going to do that because what the analytics were saying, and it's true, hey, if you put that in that situation, now they have got to get a 2-point conversion. You've really kind of separated yourself in the game. I think it was like 2.5 minutes left in the game that you really have separated yourself. They've got to score twice and get a 2-point conversion. But what I was really thinking about was in our district minutes, it's 15 points. So that's the max that you can max out. So like last year, we were going to be in a situation where it was going to be us.
That's a tiebreaker situation.
Yes.
Point differential is what
Correct.
that means.
So I was really thinking about that piece of it going into it. Was I didn't want to be in a situation where I wanted to max out. I wanted to max the points out, and I did not want there to be any type of situation where we were going to be, oh man, well I wish we would have went for two, So, but you live and you learn, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. At the time that I made that decision, I was like, this is the right decision. And then about a minute later, I was like, I wish I would have kicked it. So, but that's the story. But I need to go back to just going from my gut and like this is because we get so caught up. I heard Coach Gruden say this in a podcast, I don't know, a week or two ago. We get so caught up in the new school or new age of thinking. Well, football is not that hard. We make it hard. We make the thought process and everything. And he was actually talking about analytics at that time. Well, football has been played for 100+ years. Let's do what we've all been accustomed to and know and not listen to the analytical piece of it. Now, there's times on 4th and 1, like, you're going to be like, why would Nally go for it on 4th and 1? Because I'm an offensive guy and I want to go for it. But in that situation, it's the first time all year, Brother Graham, I was like, yeah, analytics, let's do it. And after the game, I was like, boys, y'all can take that book and burn it.
All right, let's go back to our topic, which is the Lovejoy Leopards come to Cardinals home field here at Kenny Deal Stadium. We've talked about Todd Dodge a lot, 7-time state champion. I mean, literally a Hall of Famer.
Right.
A mentor. He's a nice fellow. He's a good guy. You want to beat him, of course. So you guys talk a lot during the season, right? But do you talk this week?
We've spoke a couple times already. First off, Coach Dodge is not what people think he is. Coach Dodge, when you think of the mystique of Coach Dodge, you think that he is unapproachable or...
Oh, he's a very nice man.
Yeah, golly, just so kind, so open. He wants to help everybody. And obviously, I mean, he's probably in the top 2, 3 greatest high school football coaches to ever live in the state of Texas. But he is not what people think. He is what I hope that I am one day, just very much so to the younger generation. I'll do whatever I can to help you. And like I said, he's very, very kind and very, very generous. But, I mean, it's different. Like, I talk to him probably once a week-ish, once every 2 weeks in pretty good detail, whereas this week it's more or less like we're going to talk about our sub-varsities, and we're going to talk about uniform combos just because our colors are kind of the same, and it's kind of like, okay, Coach, I'll see you Friday.
Yeah. There's no secrets this week.
No, sir, sir.
Well, we do invite you to be by the channel this Friday, 7 o'clock pregame show, 7:30 kickoff. Lovejoy will be right here at Kenny Deal Stadium to take on the Cardinals, and that leads you into the bye week.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk about that next week.
Yes, sir.
The goals, the strategies of bye week, all
yeah.
of those things. Last topic for you. I asked you at the beginning of the year, and now can you believe we're halfway through the season already?
No.
Say a word of appreciation or motivation or inspiration to Cardinal fans who are watching.
You know, I guess the first thing is thank you. Like, we have really, like, even the Liberty game, I know it was homecoming, but, you know, Liberty wasn't a very strong team, and I didn't know that that we would have that big of a showing for that game. The Memorial game, there was a great showing. Don Bosco, obviously, there was a great showing. And then at Anna Friday night, there was a great showing. But once again, like, the live stream was pretty awesome. But just the overall support, like, I got so many text messages from people before the game and people after the game that is just you can't I guarantee you other head coaches and communities don't get. And it's never like the last line will always be good luck or good win, but before that is always like just things that you take with you throughout the week, and some things throughout your entire life, like, you know, just how people in Melissa really do crave the success of other people, and people in Melissa truly do love others. And I think that's what separates us from other communities is that part. At least that's my experience. You know, I haven't had experiences like other people have had where things have been ugly. My experience here, even in the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows, has been the majority, overwhelming majority, has been just so loving and supportive. And so just thank you. And then, you know, we're far from over. So I ask you to continue out, to come out and support these kiddos, because at the end of the day, they deserve it. You know, we'll play Lovejoy on Friday night, and let's pack the house.
We invite you to the game this Friday, 7:30 kickoff. As I've told you, all the teenagers are invited to the fifth quarter event, which is going to be held at First Melissa, part of our student ministry, a big event for teenagers from all the different schools right after the game is over this Friday, fifth quarter event. And, of course, Sunday morning, our worship services in our church home at First Melissa, 9 a.m., 10:15 a.m. FirstMelissa.com is the place to find out all that information. So you are invited to join us. We will see you on Friday night. Lovejoy comes to town. Thanks for watching. Coach, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of the week. We'll see you on Friday. Go Cardinals.